Youth pastors, 2 or 3 out of 5 youth pastors are watching porn, strangling the turkey. They have this problem, even though they're youth pastors. You know, I was growing up Christian, and I always had this ideal that I wouldn't lust, because, you know, Jesus said, oh, sorry guys, even if you look at a woman with lust, you've committed adultery. And I didn't really understand the full depth of what he's saying. But I always just kind of felt bad because I didn't want to be an adulterer. But I wasn't able to stop lusting. And that's the crazy thing. But if you look profoundly at what he's saying, he's giving you a clue. He's giving you a really good hint about how to overcome this lust and become your own master and overcome all the shame that you're a Christian and you're not able to live up to your own ideal. Some people would say, drop the ideal. That's ridiculous. It's not that it's wrong to lust. It isn't because it's a sin. Even Jesus talks about that. It's that once you determine your mind that you don't want to live like an animal that's run by these desires, and your perception is blinded by all these desires. You see a woman in a bikini, it's controlling you in a different level than if you saw that same woman at the same time in a baggy shirt and some basketball shorts. You're a slave to that. The clothes, her body is controlling you, your perception, how you feel, how you talk, what you're gonna say, what you're gonna try and do. You don't see them like a real person. You see them like an object of sex. And you're gonna talk to them like that. And it's gonna stimulate different things in you. Maybe you get nervous. Maybe you get aggressive. Maybe it just transforms you into this thing that wants to get it, and then once you get it, boom, you're gone. Instead of being able to see them with love as a real person, can you see somebody beyond their body or their mind and love them for who they are? And would you like people to do that to you? Or do you want people to be judging you by your body and your mind? Oh, he's too fat. I don't like him. I'm not going to even engage with him. Do you want to live in a world like that? Judgmental? Oh, that person, their mind, they're not exactly like me, so fuck them. Indifference, ego and pride, the nose lifts up a little bit, the meanness of the heart. Is that what you want this world to be? People judging each other by whether or not they're interested in their body? How shallow are you? Have you ever even examined this? How shallow, how fucking shallow are you? When I analyzed this, it broke my heart, and it's still breaking my heart. I look at myself every day, and I realize I'm not able to love people the way that I want to, because my ego, my self-interest, I still have a lot of maturing to do. And one area of maturing is being able to see people how they really are. I know it's really heavy, but this is the reality that we're in. This is the reality that we're in. Okay, so I give massages, and one thing that I didn't like when I started doing massages was when there was an attractive person on my table, the energy of the whole massage changed, and I felt myself getting turned on, and they got turned on, and I never did anything professionally inappropriate, but even just touching somebody who you think is attractive, you know, it changes your internal chemistry, stuff starts to happen, and I made a goal to myself. I said, I want to be able to give massages with purity. I want to be able to see this person as like my sister, my mother. I want to be able to bring joy and not lust, because the whole energy became a little bit lustful, and it wasn't as healing and beautiful as when there's an energy of love and compassion. This person's coming to you in pain. I can either improve them and transform their pain into joy, or I can kind of create this lustful energy that it just is what it is. It just is what it is, guys. And so anyways, now every massage I give is full of that beautiful, resplendent love, more or less. But think about your own life. Think about it. You want to stop watching porn. Something keeps on drawing you back. Have you identified it yet? Have you been practicing the awareness? The self-awareness? Have you been practicing understanding what stimulates lust thoughts in you? All the different things we talked about. Because every single thing in your life generates thoughts. Let's go back to what Jesus said. If you even look at a woman and you lust after her, you've committed adultery in your heart. He's saying that thought is the real action. That's how powerful thought is. Everything begins with a thought. So if you can replace that thought with the thought of something higher and more beautiful, what you really want, more than the sex, more than the physical attraction. Sometimes it's just a nice feeling of flirtatiousness that makes you feel a little bit of butterflies. Well, what's even higher than that you can think about that will replace that? Remember, wine and new wineskins. We're almost at church, guys. Don't you just love Boca? Look at those palm trees behind us. So, like yesterday, I was at the beach. This girl sat close to me. I instantly felt this little bit of physical attraction. I was thinking about, oh wow, like those instant feelings got triggered. And sometimes you can feel like that too. The lust gets triggered, the physical attraction gets triggered. Again, I'm not saying that this is wrong. Don't misinterpret what I'm saying. Oh, what? There's nobody here. What is this? What's going on? Okay, there's people here. It's just I'm early. Maybe I'm 15 minutes early or something. That's all right. I'll just go meditate. Oh, bounce house and bunny petting zoo. That's cool. So anyways, what were we talking about? We're talking about the stimulus. Yeah, that girl. And I was like, is this really what I want? I was like, you know what? My actual goal is to see her as like a sister. And I want to be able to think and interact and engage in a way that is literally just like a sister, just like a casual friend. I don't want to have my interactions with 50% of the female population, or 50% of the human population, or females, to be this stained by just physical attractiveness. I want to be able to talk to them like a real person, have a real conversation, and I don't want it to be this different vibe. And so I just sat there, I meditated, and it changed. It changed how I felt. And that's exactly what I do whenever there's a lust challenge, a lust impulse. When there's a lust impulse, that's exactly what I do. You have to replace the thought with a higher thought. You can't just, we were talking about chopping off its head. You can't just chop off its head. You have to replace it with something better, something more beautiful, which is why spending time in meditation to create a beautiful reality that you want to be able to live in, where people are real with each other, and kindness emanates, and genuineness emanates, and there's actually a little bit of love and kindness, and not ego and sex and the lower animalistic behaviors and thoughts that happen. I'm not judging it. I'm just saying, what world do you want to live in? Who do you want to be? You want to be that high schooler who always sees the world through those immature eyes, or do you want to evolve and obtain the consciousness of Christ? And what I mean by that is the consciousness of a higher, more evolved person. Whether you believe in religion or not, there's people out there who are more evolved. There's people who are more basic. And the people who are more evolved are more inclusive. They know how to be leaders. That's what I mean by Christ consciousness. They know how to think about others other than themselves. And what is sex? It's only for you. I'm not criticizing it. I'm not saying you never have to have it in your life. I'm just talking about its limitations and the dark side of it. Because nobody really talks about this in society. There's a beautiful side to sex, don't get me wrong, but there's a dark side. And I'd say 99% of people are crawling around, slithering in the dark side, but they're calling it beautiful. Because that's what you've been marketed with. People are selling you with sex. And you've been sold. And I'm here to break you out of that. You already know what I'm saying is true. I don't have to convince you. The right use of sex is where it doesn't create problems in yourself and in the world. Think about it. I'll leave you with this. The problems in the world, the biggest problems in the world are lack of organization in society, gangs, mafias. Think about New York and Chicago. Where does that come from? Improper use of sex. Look, hey, what's up? Oh no, I'm recording a video. Okay. I'll be right there. What time does church start?
9.
Oh, like 2 minutes. I don't know. 9 minutes. Okay, cool. Good vibes. So, misuse of sex. Think about it. Where do orphans come from? Where do these gangsters come from? People without close-knit families get recruited into it. It's more complex than that. But this is a huge place of where they get their people. This is a huge place of where they get their recruits. Mothers have sex outside of the marriage. And then outside of that marriage, they don't have fathers who stick around. And then what happens to the kid? They don't have a father. They don't have a mother around them. They get drawn into their peer group. They get drawn into the gang. That's just one example. You can think about that, and it's absolutely true. The family depends, for a large part, on loyalty, integrity, and monogamy. How are you going to have that if everyone's cheating, breaking up families, getting divorces, having kids outside of wedlock? Think about it. Just think about it. Think about how it really makes the world hell. Think about it. This is not morality. This is practicality. I'm talking about pragmatic, A-B, results-driven thinking. This is where you get your worldview from. Rationality, not dogma. But if you haven't taken the time to think about the ramifications of the promiscuous lifestyle that everybody's living, to take some time and really flesh it out for yourself in a non-religious way. Just look at it. Just look at it. What creates a good world? What creates a world of broken hearts? Not to be dramatic, but just think about that. And I want to relate this back to you. Relating it back to you, because that's really why you're here. If you think about it, you want to know the practical tips that will help you.
Good morning. Happy Easter.
It's Easter. Focus today on thought replacement and continue to guard your mind. Continue to be the guardian of your mind. Practice thought replacement. Practice thinking of the most holy version of yourself who interacts with the world. Think about the most holy person whenever you get tempted by lust, whenever that snake gets rustled awake and the lust inside you is trying to control you? What do you do when that happens? How do you resist that? Do you have a system and a strategy for when it gets pissed off, it's slithering around, it wants to control you? What are you going to do then? How are you going to control those thoughts? What are you going to do? We'll talk about more later. God bless you.